My college ex-boyfriend proposed after 1 month of dating. We were engaged for 3 years and it cost me $10,000. As I mentioned, VSU was supposed to be an escape as well as a fresh start. So when I realized I was leaving for good, I felt like my only plan away from my abusive father had failed. I tried to hang on to anything I could that reminded me of VSU because I honestly could not believe that my time was over. I couldn't believe that my education was ending, and I couldn't believe I was going back to my small town, the same town I had just graduated from and swore I'd never be returning to. My father was born with a severe physical disability, so he doesn't work, and my ex claimed because he moved to a new area, finding a job was too difficult, and to my surprise, he was no longer interested in going back to college because apparently getting a degree was a waste of time. I was very adamant and honestly very desperate about finding a way to continue going to school, specifically a university away from my hometown. My father never asked me to pay any bills. However, I was responsible for myself in every aspect besides housing and the utilities alike. Food, clothing, transportation, cell phone, Wi-Fi, anything else you can think of was my responsibility. I warned my ex about my dad seeming cool at first, but then out of nowhere seeming like everything was a problem. John and I weren't required to pay any bills, but I didn't want to just sit around, so I applied for the community college in my hometown called Brookdale. Brookdale has 2 or 3 campuses within the county, and one of them is actually 10 minutes from my father's house. However, friends, I need some distance, so I set all of my classes to the campus that's about a 45-minute drive. However, I don't have a car, so it takes me 2 buses, a train, and a 30-minute walk. Even though John is not applying himself and looking for jobs, he isn't wrong about how hard it is to find something in the area. I managed to find 2 part-time jobs. One of them is at H&R Block, and the other is at a store called Kmart. I feel like I'm showing my age telling y'all about Kmart, but let's get back to the story. So originally, John and I planned to save up for 6 months and then move back to Virginia. While at school, I did tell John some of the things that me and my dad went through at home, so he is well aware of the abuse that I have gone through. For months, every time that I come home from working these 2 jobs and I come home from being a full-time student and having this crazy-ass commute, I would find my dad and John sitting in the living room playing video games, talking about absolutely nothing. As soon as I stepped in the house, they would both begin just treating me so poorly, telling me how I was never going to get anywhere in life, how I had no direction, how my weight was making me unappeasable to people. My dad would tell me that I should be lucky that John even wanted to be with me. They're both telling me that I should just drop out of school, that I should stop working, and I should just be a stay-at-home wife to John. One night there's a shooting outside of my window, and my dad is absolutely convinced that we are moving down south within the month.